so much for being with us. And you have noticed some fascinating language over the last few hours from the United Kingdom Defense Ministry, saying basically the Russian troops are strapped right now. They're under serious strain. What did they say, and what do you see here?
Well, this is from the intelligence arm of the Defense Ministry, and their assessment is that the Russians are taking such heavy losses that they're having to pull troops from other parts of Russia to backfill the troops that are in those stalled positions. And they're also furiously hiring private contractors from groups like the Wagner Group to, they think, try to control the cities that have already been taken over to free up those forces to join the offensive fight.
You know, it is interesting because people have been looking at this map here and they've been seeing the areas where Russian troops are operating, they have been growing, right? But just because you see this in red doesn't mean that it's easy for the Russians to control.
Yes, and Ukrainians on the ground say this often means that they control some of the major highways and routes along these areas, but not the backways and byways. And just because they've taken a city, they've taken Melitopol, yes, but the people in that city haven't given in to Russian rule. Some of them are hiding in their homes, but they are reporting that the Russians are having to kidnap activists at night to try to tamp some of this down. And every time they use soldiers for that, those are soldiers that are not helping take territory in the rest of Ukraine.
So you heard Jim Sciutto's report there. We're going to hear from President Zelensky addressing the U.S. Congress very shortly. He's going to make an ask, clearly what he wants. President Biden is going to make an offer after that over what the U.S. is actually sending. We know that the United States has already sent in so many of these javelins, anti-tank weapons, which are hugely useful for troops. Also the Stingers, anti-aircraft weapons. Jim was reporting, though, a higher level of anti-aircraft weaponry that'll be available to the Ukrainians. How happy do you think they will be, and how much less than their ask do you think it really is?
Look, President Zelensky is still going to do what you do in any bargaining situation. He's going to ask for the maximum. He's going to ask for a no-fly zone, as he did of Canadian lawmakers yesterday, in hopes that the pressure on the Biden administration will be such from Congress and from the American people that the Biden administration gives them not only some of the weapons on offer, but possibly more armed drones. The drones that Ukraine bought from Turkey ahead of the war have proved devastating to the Russian military, but they only had reportedly about 36 of them, and some of them surely have been taken out, and so they need resupply, and they'd surely like more modern ones. So, the laundry list is going to keep growing as long as this war goes on.
This is the Turkish drone right here, and you can see here we have some imagery here, which shows you just how effective it can be against a Russian column there. No wonder the Ukrainians want more of that. I do want to ask about another development this morning. We're getting word from our crews there. We've got a team that had been in Vinnytsia right here. This city that isn't particularly near the conflict areas, there was a strike on a television tower there, a broadcasting facility. Why do the Russians keep doing this?
Between hitting those broadcasting facilities and also, as from what we can tell, actually targeting news teams, it shows that the information war is hurting their war effort. Whether it is the Russian TV producer who made the protest in Russia proper on state television, or the mothers of Russian soldiers who are starting to step up and start their protest, which has in the past caused Russia to pull out of at least one previous conflict. This is the kind of action you take when the message is going against you and you're trying to win on the information front.
And again, we just talked to Jim about this, but we're getting this conflicting language, not conflicting language, we're getting language from both the Ukrainians and the Russians now about these negotiations that sounds different than it has over the last several days. Do you have a sense of what the sides would be willing to accept?
Well, the most important hint that we've gotten from President Zelensky is now in a couple of different comments. He has said he basically understands that NATO membership is likely off the table. So that was a major ask of Russia, that they strip from the Ukrainian constitution that they were going to be trying to join NATO. But it seems that Russia is still pushing to have Ukraine recognize its annexation of Crimea and possibly also recognize the Donbass area and maybe some more of the territory that has been taken in this conflict so far. And Ukraine Ukraine is still doing well enough on the battlefield that it's not ready to accept that.
Look, it's hard to imagine Ukraine accepting anything that would just give